I didn't even want to be labeled as trans woman before. I don't want to be called like, like I am not. I am a woman.
Please don't expect that all the viewers and all the visitors will not see you as a fetish or a sexual object.
A trans woman now is not hypersexualized. A trans woman now has a voice.
How to attract the right guy that I'm looking for. If you are in an online dating platform, you have to create a profile that sends a message to your viewers that the type of person that you will be expecting, and also a message through your photos and your description that this is the type of relationship and man that you are looking for. Now, let me try to simplify that. You don't really have to create a specific list on your description. You will just have to be very honest of what you are looking for. You have to put it in your description that this is me and this is what I am looking for. As simple as that. For the photos, you have to present yourself in a way that you want the viewers to see you. If you are posting a sexually provocative photos, please don't expect that all the viewers and all the visitors will not see you as a sex fetish or a sexual object. What I am trying to say is that if you want the person to introduce you to their parents, please wear something that is presentable to the parents and not just wearing sexually provoking outfit. As a co-founder of my transgender date, I noticed that there are a lot of trans women who complains that they are being objectified or men are just playing around. But then you will also have to self-assess. How am I presenting myself? Because that would actually lead to how people view you, depending on how you present yourself. So that's the first step. Presentation really matters in order for you to attract the right people. I have been changing my photos and I have been changing my descriptions. I notice that if you're going to be straightforward, if you're going to present yourself in a way that you wanted to be seen by other people, you will attract the right people. Of course, the world is not perfect. There will always be those unwanted profiles, or there are always those people who will visit your profile and send you a message that's not pleasing at all. But overall, if you stay focused on your goal, you will present yourself the way you want others to see you.
That's a huge thought to follow, because I think you just nailed it. I think that's the elephant in the room. I have this feeling that whenever I think this was back then in Cebu when I was still starting to help you and Cyril catch bugs and look at different profiles, etc. I realized that I'm not sure if it's just me, but there's this idea, or more of like a cliche per se, that being a trans woman needs to be represented in a hypersexualized way. How the perception is that when you're a trans woman, there is probably an idea in the head of someone as to what a trans woman is. Number one, there should be like big boobs. Number one. Number two, there should be some facial features being retouched, done, etc. That we should be perceived and we should be seen in a way close to a Barbie. Like, the Barbie is the entire definition of how it will be to present ourselves as a trans woman. And I think probably in history, that's probably how it happened. That's the genesis of it, that there's this level of sexualized image just to counter that masculinity that we're born with. I think hypersexualizing it ups it a bit higher than how we were born. But I also believe that in this time and age, we are trying to redefine how it is to look like a trans woman, that we cannot all fit in as that Barbie type walking in the mall. And being hypersexualized is probably a story that was defined in the 90s. But we're moving into 2025. We're in 2024. The conversation had changed. So I think when you said about, you've changed your profile picture several times, yes, I did. I had this time too when wearing a bikini defined me. And then through time, because of age, because of reflection, because of the realities of the time that we're in, we changed too. And so as the man looking for a partner, that changed too. So I think to me, the hypersexualized image is done, baby. That's done. That's in the past. If we talk,
Period.
yeah, period. That's done. That's cliche. That will just attract people with wrong intentions, really, to be honest. If you want to attract someone that has really good intentions on building a future together, if that's what you're looking for, then never use the 90s way of defining a trans woman. A trans
Yeah.
woman now is not hypersexualized. A trans woman now has a voice. A trans woman now has an image, better representation of who she is as a trans woman, not the hypersexualized one. So we're talking about, what do you do in life? Are you a teacher? That's more interesting. Or do you have a business? That's more interesting. Or do you run a podcast? That's more interesting.
We are not invalidating those women who wanted to be uber feminine. But what we are trying to say here is that it's just a facade. And we are not just trying to invalidate people. We're not trying to invalidate people for showing it off of what you have. We're only talking about how would other people perceive you. And if they perceive you differently, it's about time for you to step up and get empowered and say, this is just a facade and this, I have more to offer.
I did not use the word sexy. I did not use the word beautiful. I used the word hypersexualized, because hypersexuality is different from being put together. Putting your makeup. We all love makeup, right? I do put makeup on. I do like to present myself as beautiful as I can be when I start my day. I think everybody loves to do that. But when we talk about hypersexualizing ourselves and how we present that outside as an hypersexualized individual, that is a different path. That is a different
Right.
thing, which I think needs to be defined here. It's okay to look beautiful, put together, be the best person or be the best image that you can with the resources that you have. But as much as possible, please don't hypersexualize yourself. And I think we can all agree that for us to have an amazing profile that we can communicate to the world to attract the best person that we can attract, hypersexualization may not be the path.
I definitely agree to both of what you both said, like about changing profile is definitely a must, because like what Polly said also, we are changing and we need to update our profiles in order for us to find the right fit for us. But I would also say that we cannot talk for all the girls, because maybe that type of girl is actually looking for that kind of partner. I know I definitely agree with both of you. I prefer the qualities that you both were talking about, and I am also there, but there are girls who are looking for that type of guy. So we cannot talk for them. This question is very interesting, and for me, as you both know, I'm a big advocate for self-love and self-care. I think it's really important to reflect on your qualities and brush up the qualities that you have, because I always think that every time I meet a new person or I attract a person, not even a partner, not even a male part, even just friends, I see myself to them. I see some qualities that they have that I have. So if you are looking for that particular person in your love life, I think it's also important to reflect back and look at the qualities that you have, if you also have it, because like attracts like, and if you are not that as well, I don't think you'll be able to attract that person.
So it's like yin yang.
Exactly, yeah, it's an energy. It's like the energy that you attract. I have been working on myself. I'm a coach, so I love learning a lot. I love implementing new things that I think that will make me more improve my qualities. So reflecting is definitely a fact that I realized that, when it comes to this type of questions, that it's so important. I think being also honest and accepting as you are as a trans woman. I've been there as well. I'm going to talk about this because I didn't even want to be labeled as trans woman before. I don't want to be called like, like I am not. I am a woman. I always thought I'm a woman. But how can you find the right person if you're not really accepting of who you are and being authentic about yourself? So that
Mm.
also has been a journey for me until I really accepted myself, and really now I'm finding the right person that I go out, that I not just partner. I mean, I don't have a partner yet, but like potential partner, and also friends that I'm looking for, because I always reflect and go back to my own self, and I see that because that's what I want also to have,
Hmm.
as a partner. Yeah.
Thank you for creating the stage as we
Yeah.
move from the physical profile that Mackie mentioned, like providing tips and all that. Thank you, Tiff, for pivoting to knowing more about ourselves. Because I
Yeah.
think one thing that there are probably two things that I learned along the way. When I say along the way, it did not happen overnight. It was a mix of trial and error, and eventually you feel that probably this formula worked because it worked for me. It might work for our fellow sisters too. The first is I asked myself before, if I will go on a date and I will be my own date, will I like it? And I said no, I don't like it. Why? Because I feel like I'm a boring person in dates. Because I'll probably be talking about things weird, talking about things too factual or too geeky. And I told myself, you know what? We need to add a little spice in how I talk. I cannot just like talk the way I talk to my friends. There should be another dimension that the person dating me will see, not just the way that I want to be seen, right? Which I think goes back to our authentic self and how we want to present ourselves. Number two, I listed down my red flags. What are my red flags? Means to say, we're very good in spotting someone else's red flag and green flag, but we don't do well in spotting our own green flag and red flags. And that's part of shadow work, understanding what are the things that I think are my red flags. For me, my red flag was reacting instantly, like being impulsive. And I realized I'm being impulsive because I'm an Aries, and Aries are meant to be impulsive. So that's a red flag because I cannot just react instantaneously to everything, right? So to me, understanding that's one of the things that I need to work on and be mindful of. So I think understanding ourselves, just like how Tiffany mentioned it, to me, I would work on identifying my red flags as well, not just spotting someone else's red flag, but what my red flags are, and work on that. Have a conscious and mindful way and compassionate way of understanding that, okay, these are the things I need to work on. There's nothing wrong with me, but this is just a way for me to help myself be a better person, work on my red flags. And then second, which is the first, is am I dateable enough? Like if I'll go out on a date, will I like myself? Or, what type of topics would I bring into the table? So just to add spice to it. So try to imagine if you're a person that you would like to date and what type of topics or conversation you'd like to pitch in during the first meetup.
First and foremost, it's very healthy. I have been doing that. You get to know yourself better. And once you know what are the things that you can improve on, what red flags that you can work on, you're ready to present this to your future partner or to your future date. Hey, these are things that I am not really good at. So do you think you can accept this? Because if you can't, I'll have to move to the other person who can accept it. Because I'm not going to work on this right now. I have to be with someone who understands this and who believes that I can work on this.
I've seen this just in my practice as well, clinically speaking. Red flags are actually exciting, to be honest. When we see a red flag and you are the person who wants to save a person, red flags will be very attractive. Some of us have the savior complex, savior mentality embedded in us. That when we see a red flag, we have because we're so addicted with that red flag because probably of how we were brought up. We have the tendency to make sure that we win that red flag over to a green flag. One thing that I've learned While talking to my clients about, their relationships, their attraction to a person perhaps that mistreated them, but they cannot understand why they're still very attracted to this person. I probably have digressed, but this is probably something that you can take with you, whoever may resonate with it, is when someone tells me, when I ask them, so what do you like about the person? What do you like about this person? And the answer goes, I don't know. It feels very magical. You have to watch out for that because that might be trauma bonding. You're probably traumally bonded to that person with these red flags. But if a person will tell me, when I ask them, what do you like about this person? But the answer goes, well, I like this person because he listens. Number two, I feel safe. He reciprocates. He listens to my needs. We have a good conversation. He's a kind person. He's empathic. If you have a list that really details why this person, or why is this type of person you're choosing, then I would say that's a secure and safe bonding. Okay, so again, if it's just, it feels magical, fleeting. But again, I'm not talking about us knowing this right there and then. This is a process of knowing the person along the way. And in the process of knowing the person along the way, once you have decided that these are the characters that really resonate and speaks to you, then it's a safe relationship. It's a secure one. That person is really showing how it is to be in a relationship authentically. But if it will be like, the chemistry is there, I think, I don't know, I cannot explain it. It's magical. And I love magical things, right? That's what the world of mindfulness does. We believe in magic and stuff. But once it falls into that dimension, I tell the person, I think it's better to step back a bit and really look at what the actions are saying. Let's identify the actions.
Sometimes we're trapped onto what is familiar to us, and then we are attracting the wrong person because we are too familiar with that situation. We are too familiar with that feeling. We go directly into that. But once we step back and assess ourselves, wait a minute. I've been here in this route before. I'm not really attracting the right person. So it's good to ask, what am I really looking for before knowing or identifying how to attract the right person. I think that's a good one. I think the conclusion when it comes to attracting the right person, you really need to know what you're looking for. And you really need to identify your purpose. Because if you don't know, you will be lost. You will be in a sea of different people, and it would be more difficult to identify the right person for you, or the person that you wanted to be with, because you don't know where to go in the first place.
Absolutely. And the way I actually trying to manifest the right person for me is I wrote it down. Writing it down also will give you a clear idea. It's like, it's like planning, right? Like when you do plan things, you have to write it down. You have to jot it down. You have to be very clear of what's process and everything. And it just gives you a clear idea of what you really want, not just a partner in life. One thing that I always believe that it's very manifestable, is that a word? Is to really write it down and believe that you can achieve it, because once you write it down, it will happen.